introduce you, or sometimes in small group, like you, only yourself and your prospect, you don't need MC for that. Maybe just 2 or 3 of you. So you can, on the first slide, you can already introduce yourself as well. You can do self-introduction. So especially if the person or the one listening is totally new. So this particular presentation format is not cast in stone. What I mean is, it's a format, it's just one of the formats that we will be presenting to you, but there are several formats. Even I use my own Cell101 is different from the format of Theingi Cell101. It's different from here as well. So normally I would cover broad topic. What is cell therapy? What is cell treatment? Injectables from Switzerland and all that. This one is not gonna, you will see later on, it's a different take of Cell101 presentation, okay? But just bear in mind, you can customize it to whatever way you want. This is just one of the ways to present Cell101. So I like to kind of like open it with a vibrant, energetic picture. No, so because we're touching on the key message for your first slide here is, you can change the photo if you want, maybe use your own photo, is appreciating our human body. So that's how we would like to start with this Cell101. Appreciation, gratitude for the body that we are blessed with. So you can use suggested scripts here below. Could be like, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our talk on Cellular Health 101. Today's talk is indeed very important. You see how I do it as well, with passion and with energy. Sometimes you have script, but when you read script, you lose the what do you call that? Thank you. You lose the energy and the passion in giving it. So make sure that when even you read your script, you still give it with emotions and with passion as well. You can say, yeah, good evening. Today's talk is indeed very important in the way we understand our body better. We all know our bodies very well from the outside. We always look at the mirror, we see our bodies. But do we really know what goes inside or within our bodies? Let's discover how beautiful they are and begin to appreciate our bodies from the inside. Let's watch this video. So now I am leading you into an exciting picture of the human body, right? Are you able to feel that? And then now let's go within. I'm inviting you to now watch this video where you can see, how many of you have seen the video on this one, the cell, about cell? Just type 1 if you have watched it. Or maybe I'll just play it.
Let's pray.
Let's pray. I like to pray. So let's play the video.
You have to share sound.
Oh yeah, wait. No sound. Ay, sorry. I shouldn't touch. Okay. So, question, maybe you will be asking, Gina, must we always include this video when we do Cell 101? No, not necessarily. It's really up to you. I know, for example, Dr. Angie struggles quite a lot on Wi-Fi because videos in certain part of the Philippines is not recommended, especially for this very long videos. No, but whenever you can, it will be good because you see how powerful it is, like bringing you into the topic of, it's a very good tee up for cells. No, but if you are unable to play the video, no need to play the video. You can go from the intro slide, then go directly into the next slide, which is talking about the cells. Is that clear? Okay, so don't worry, for later on, we will give you all these materials, all the files for the video as well. Or if not, for example, you are unable to play the video, you can send it to them as a link separately in their Viber or in their email as well. You can tell them, we won't be able to send you the video, but you can either send it in advance before the presentation or could be after presentation as well. All right, so now we're moving on to, after that, you kind of like, yeah, thank you for that. We talk a little bit about the video. For me, I personally get excited whenever I see that video because it made me appreciate my cells, my body from within. And cell is actually I have here the scripts. You can see, maybe I'll make this one smaller. Okay, so now we're talking from the video. Now we're going into the cell. Cells are the basic building blocks of all living things, as what we have seen in the video earlier. Every day, our lives, we eat, drink, and breathe. Why are we doing this? Blah, blah, blah. So you see the script over there, huh? Now, Gina, must we regurgitate all this word for word? Again, no need. Important is for you to see the essence or the key message. That's why on top, I put there the key message. Do you see the bold ones? I highlight before the suggested script, I put their key message. That means what is the essence of this slide? The essence for this slide is cell is the smallest unit of life. To take care of your body is to take care of your cells. And that is why we need cell therapy, something like that. Theingi, do you want to add a little bit of analogy?
Okay. For this part, when I first started speaking this, it was something a bit different. Okay, personally, I didn't take biology, but then it makes me really do some of my own research into what is this function. And here we have already labeled it in a non-scientific way, a factory, okay, or it's an instruction manual. Like for example, for those of you who bakes, right, you can use this analogy. Like for example, okay, factory here is like your oven, okay, then instruction is your recipe, okay, and then you have the proteins, which are your eggs, okay, to bake something, and energy is the electricity, and then we have fats, which is the butter, and then and then the membrane, which is the crust of your cake or your pie, anything. So depending on it, but first seek understanding of this basic first. Because if you don't seek understanding and just use the script as it is, you will find that you can't link. You can't link it very well. It doesn't come out very naturally from you, from your own understanding. That's why, like Gina said, there is a script for you. But you can change it, twist it around to make it your own understanding. As long as you get the message out, which is you highlighted there, the key message of this slide is to tell them that cells are very important. Not even our organs, because without cells, we won't have our organs. So that's why we need to take care of ourselves. That's the main message here.
Yeah, and by the way, not all cells look like this. This is a typical anatomy of a cell. We have like nerve cells doesn't look like this. They have, remember, they have dendrites. Different cells will have different structure. So, but that is just FYI, for your information, so that at least you know that not every cell look like this, but this is a typical representation of what a cell is. And like, yeah, like what Peggy said, the key message is that it is serving a purpose into our daily activities, our drinking, our enzymes production, hormones, our blood, and everything that the body has to do, has to depend on the cells for energy, for like what you said, for instructions and all that. Okay, and then I highlighted kind of like the bottom one. You see the bottom sentence: if our cells are healthy and continue to function properly, like she said, like Tengi said, all tissues and organs will also function properly, and we will continue to live healthily. That's the ideal, right? But why do cells become unhealthy? Then that's your link to go to the next slide. Why do cells become unhealthy? You kind of like engage your audience. You can even ask them, type on the chat, why do you think cells become unhealthy? And then boom, that is your cue to go to the next slide. The next slide is where you start to talk about our environment has changed. This is because our environment has changed. Water is polluted, air is polluted, and then you have the different explanations here on this chart. You always see this in many of the presentation. Again, the key message there is environment has changed. We don't live the same way as before. Our body cannot cope with all these environmental changes and our lifestyle habits as well. Always try to link, like what Tengi mentioned, always try to link from one slide to another. No? Para hindi abrupt yung inyong transition. No? So you see how we are flowing so far? All the slides are always connected and linked. And then here is where you talk about the free radicals. Now you're introducing them to, earlier we're talking about cells, right? Now you're introducing them to the villain. Parang movie, pumapasok na yung kontrabida. So now the villain is starting to come in. Especially for those who do not know anything about cell therapy and cell, and who's probably hearing this for the first time. Now you're kind of like giving them the setting for the villain. These are, what is wrong with all this? These are the sources of free radicals. Free radicals are the main cause of many modern illnesses. Let me explain to you why is this so. Oh, so now they are hooked to you, especially those who do not know what the heck is free radicals. So now you tell them, let me explain to you why is this so. Any questions on this so far? Or any feedback, or especially for those who are also have done.
Yeah, and you don't need to like wait till the end, because today is a very cozy and small group. You can ask any question at any point.
It's a discussion, huh?
Yeah.
So if you want to add, just feel free as well. So then that's your link. Let me explain you why is this so. That's the last item there, right? So that is your cue now to go into showing what these free radicals can do to our cells. Earlier, you have seen the anatomy of a healthy cell. Now you're seeing how these villains, these free radicals, are starting to create havoc into our cells. No? You have a script there. You say our bodies are overwhelmed by the excessive free radicals or oxidants from environment, like what I've shown you earlier in the earlier slides. So these are the scripts that you can use. Again, no need to memorize all. You can read them, but make it your own as well. No need word for word, huh? To say it. The key message again is there on the top, the first 3 lines there. Key message: free radicals damage the cells. So that's your key message. How you bring that message is really up to you. Second message is chronic inflammation leads to multiple health issues. So that's kind of like your key aim for this particular question. Gina, I have a nice other image for free radicals. Can I use it? By all means. No? So you can make your own, or you can research some good animations or good illustrations. You can change it as well. Okay. And then now we're talking about free radicals, right? And then also introducing them into inflammation. So now we're moving into, okay, these free radicals, they enter the nucleus. First, they enter into the membrane. Once they enter the membrane, then they can attack different components or different parts of the cells, thereby affecting some of the functions. Here it mentions functions like we feel the effects of a slowing of digestion, memory loss, poor vision, hormonal imbalance, and so on and so forth. And then it also talks about the dangers of these free radicals able to penetrate the DNA. No? Because if DNA is affected, then mutation can occur. So you have all that script mentioned in here as well. And then now you're being introduced to the next stage. So what happens when your cells are bombarded constantly? So your body has an inflammatory response cycle. It's normal whenever you have a cut or you have an injury, an inflammatory response activates in our body in different parts. So it's a normal mechanism that happens in our body. So then you kind of like ask them, introduce them now into inflammation. Is inflammation really harmful? Can you type yes or no? Something like that. You can engage them. Type yes for those who say that inflammation is harmful, or no if you think inflammation is not harmful. Okay. And then now we're going to the effects of all the damages of free radicals, right? Then you introduce them into the two types of inflammation that happens or occurs in our body. We have acute and chronic inflammation. So acute inflammation is actually a natural process like what I've mentioned. And very often we call this the visible inflammation because there are some signs that we can see, either redness or swelling or some feelings of pain or injury, like for example, when we have a cut or a bite from mosquito or what. Then you contrast it with chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation is trickier to deal with. It's harder because many times, most often, they are invisible. You cannot see them. For me, I got it from Alvin Young. I like Alvin's analogy of rusting from the inside. You may have heard me use that script quite often. Chronic inflammation is like rusting from the inside. That means you do not know that it's happening, that there's already a chronic inflammation happening before a symptom is experienced by the body. Well, in thermography, you can see chronic inflammation. You can detect it by this, like this is the sample of thermography of the breast. You can see the red spots over there. These are inflammation because many at times it produces heat in our body because all your cells are kind of like working on that particular area. And it is a known fact that chronic inflammation actually is at the root of many diseases. Now you're leading on to the next slide. Now you're into inflammation, right? You're progressing your storyboard. Then you're going into, and this is not new. Actually, we have been warned more than 10 years ago. In this Time magazine, it mentioned that when was this? 2004. Inflammation is actually the secret killer. Then you can read the script and all that. I was asking for Theingi do you have a copy of this Time magazine? Because as a speaker, it will be good for us to read, right? As a reference. How many of you have read it? Any one of you read it? None? Don't worry, I also have not read it.
Me, I read it.
Oh, you read it.
A long time ago.
Do you
When
have
it
a
first came
copy?
out. No,
Do you have a
it's in Laguna.
Okay, maybe all of us can do research, and then if we have, we can share it in our group chat.
I will send. Yeah, I think I have to search. I have the PDF.
Okay, so thank you. It's good to do as a speaker. It's good to also read a little bit more than the slides that you are presenting, so that it gives you that confidence and the credibility as well.
Gina,
Yes,
can I just share?
sure.
One time I gave this talk to a former justice,
Mm.
Court of Appeals justice, and he remembered this article.
Oh,
So he
see?
started
Oh.
talking about this article. So at that time, I didn't know, I did not go over the article yet. So I was clueless to what he was telling me. So
Very good, very good. So you may come across prospects who are educated and well informed, like what Badette said. So it's good. Don't worry, we will try to send to you. I'm also keen to, when me and Tengi were presenting this, I said, partner, do you have a copy of this? I haven't read this. So yeah, it's good to also read that. So what is the key message here is, as I've mentioned, then we have internal inflammation that we do not know about. That's why it's a secret killer. That's why it's dangerous. That's why it's better to actually, that's why we're doing this talk, to educate people, because they do not know. Like the story I told you about that prospect in Laguna, right? He doesn't know. He didn't order Cell101 when we introduced in 2019. And now he was diagnosed sadly by lung cancer. So these are the sad stories that we have been hearing from time to time in our friends, in our relatives as well. Okay. So this one, you don't need to talk so much. The script here is very short. The key message is just there. We have been forewarned more than 10 years ago. This is not a new information. And in fact, more than 90 or at least 90 chronic diseases are caused by chronic inflammation brought about by free radical damages or oxidative stress. So these are the very common, some of the common chronic issues that you will be faced with. And then this particular Cell 101, because I told you, right, we are going to make it very subtly discussing the market potential as well without your prospects knowing. So you can say today, I will only focus on 3 global epidemics: diabetes, atherosclerosis or hypertension, or the hardening of the arteries, and cancer. These will be the 3 key diseases chronic diseases that I will be explaining to you. Yeah, and if we can prevent chronic inflammation, we can prevent all these chronic diseases. Are you ready, or are you excited to hear more about it? Then you keep on engaging from time to time. Okay. Then now is the turn to talk about diabetes. I will start. Remember about the 3 topics will be the diabetes. Key message here is diabetes has multiple complications. In fact, you won't die from diabetes. Normally, people die from complications arising from diabetes. No, and this particular chart over here, is showing what are some of the major complications caused by diabetes. So you can kind of like mention those. The longer the bar is, that means the higher the percentage is. Close to 70%, nakita ninyo yon, for hypertension and heart disease and stroke, eye problems, amputations, and the like. So free radicals oxidize glucose, leading to inflammation and narrowing of the blood vessels. Although diabetes may not cause death immediately, it greatly affects the quality of life. So you have there some explanation on diabetes as well. If you have some personal stories, either yourself or a family member close to you, you can also share a little bit on the suffering that you have experienced from a relative or a loved one who suffered from diabetes as well. Not too long though. Huh? Make sure that you just mention key Like for me, my dad died from the what do you call that? The complication of diabetes. Okay. And then now is, so diabetes, we know diabetes is very prevalent. You can then engage them. Do you know of people around you who suffer from diabetes? This is a worldwide, I tried to research. This is the latest one I can find, global information. If you want to present it, by all means. If you don't want, you can also hide as well. It's up to you. But like what I said, I want to, this Cell101, I kind of like want to very subtly put in the market potential or opportunity as well. So diabetes, you can say, is becoming a serious public health burden worldwide. 1 in 2 will be diabetic by 2050. So look in the Zoom. 1 in 2 of us will be possibly diabetic by 2050. The risk is increased with bad dietary and lifestyle habits. So now we're kind of like educating them as well on lifestyle that they need to embody in order to avoid diabetes. Okay. Any questions so far on this? On diabetes? Then you kind of like go to the next one, which is heart, cardiovascular diseases. And this is where the key message will be: chronic diseases take a long time to develop. I like this chart also a lot. Start early to prevent the onset of chronic diseases. Normal blood pressure does not equal to unclogged arteries. So these are some of the key points that you will be, there's quite a lot here, but as I've mentioned, you don't need to memorize all, but important that you are educated. You can choose 1 or 2 lines in there, but I like this part. Did you see the timeline? It takes about 10 to 20 years to clog the blood vessels. Example, a person...
Gina, maybe you do full screen, full
sc-
slideshow for this.
no,
The slideshow.
no, I want to read the script. Is it okay?
Yeah, so that they can see the chart.
Yeah, here, Ken, I make it bigger.
Okay. Later, I'll remove the Chinese.
Yeah. Now, Ken?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the part where I like it. You see the timeline below. It says it takes about 10 to 20 years to clog the blood vessels. Suppose a person has hypertension or stroke at 40, narrowing would have started in the late 20s or 30s when the person is 20 or 30. If a person is hypertensive at 30, what does that mean? The narrowing would have occurred or started at 20 or even younger as well. So this is where you kind of like paint them a picture that prevention really starts from young. Don't wait until you are 40s or 50s. Then you can be more conscious on your habits and your diets as well. No, as young as 20 or even younger, we train our siblings, our children, or our friends to have a healthy lifestyle and habits. All right. So, Theingi, do you want to explain the chart?
Yeah, I want to also highlight that for this portion, right? Do you sometimes have customers who said that, oh, I've started on Cell101, my sugar level is still high, or my hypertension medication hasn't been reduced? Do you meet some of these among your prospects or among your customers?
Yes.
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 Yep. Okay. So you can then use this explanation to highlight to them that how many years they have been having hypertension. Okay. And it took how many decades? It actually took like from the 3rd decade onwards, then you can start to see it clinically. That means you can do blood tests, or you can it shows, the symptoms shows. Yeah. So for us who are taking Celagen, for the medication to go down, it will take some time. But at least be patient in, we are actually unclogging all these blood vessel walls or the hardening of the blood vessels. So you can use this explanation to tell them that, hey, be patient. This is not a drug. This is actually, we are actually reversing the clogging of our blood arteries. Yeah. And why people should start even when before they are sick. So this information alone, you can use it to educate people. It doesn't need to be a full presentation. So I hope that as speakers, as we share about it, it's not only when we take on the role of a speaker, even as we share with our friends, we can use all this information and not just say, oh, take Celagen is good. No, because now we know more, it's our duty to explain more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have a clinical study to back up this slide?
In what aspect?
This one, the slide that you, the slide, do we have a clinical study to back up this slide?
This study is actually
it's a generic information.
It's a generic how arteries or how our hardening of our arteries work. It is not it's not to say that Celagen can unclog. It's what is actually happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Remember, the key thing here is free radicals are oxidizing cells that we have. In this case, free radicals also oxidize excess cholesterol and deposits them in the walls of the arteries. So we are still on the effects of the oxidative stress. No?
Okay.
And that diabetes, and now we're moving into cardiovascular as the another effect of oxidative stress that are not managed in our body. So far it's this, we are just talking about generic information on the harmful effects of oxidative stress brought about by free radicals. Okay, like what Theingi said, you don't need to use this only for presentation. Even for normal conversations, now you know better. Now you have more information. You can just touch up on this. Or maybe in your own Cell101, you only want to highlight the 3 highs, only want to focus on this is up to you as well. You can hide or unhide them too. And these are the complications. Hypertension leads to many other complications. Remember earlier we talked about similarly for diabetes has complications. Similarly for hypertension as well, if not managed, then it can lead to different complications. If it in the kidneys, if it happens in the kidneys, then it may cause kidney failure or may require dialysis and all. So we provided to you, if it's in the penis in men, it can cause erectile dysfunction. If it's in the eyes, it can result to retinopathy or can cause blindness, etc., as well. So again, these are the implications if not managed properly. And then we are, if you notice, there's a pattern, no? After describing the problem or the disease, then we go into how big is this? How serious is this issue or is this problem? So heart disease is the leading cause of death in many countries. This is the latest one I gathered from 2019, where ischemic heart disease or heart attack in normal term and a stroke actually are the top 2 globally, leading cause of death globally. They are the world's number 1 and 2 killers, cardiovascular disease. So that's it. That's your key message to them. Heart disease is the leading cause of death in many other countries. And then you can, depending on sino yung pinagrepresenta nyo, if you're presenting to Filipinos, I normally will substantiate it with a local statistics. Like this one is actually kind of like reflecting the global situation in the Philippines. The top causes of death from in last year, 2020, is same. Also, ischemic heart disease in there is mentioned. And diabetes is actually the fourth one in the Philippines. This is from the Philippine Statistics Authority there. Okay, so it's always good to kind of like give them a local feel of the issue or the problem, so that they can relate to it. Because if you just give global data, they may not be able to relate to this as well. If you have better data, please share it with us. Many a times my time is taken up by gathering data, because I cannot just use any other data. I must put the source. I must make sure it's credible. Make sure that when you use charts or information, you can put the source, and then it is really a credible data. Because there are some very meticulous participants. They will ask, from where is that data from, or from what year is that data from. If your data is dating back 2012 or 2013, then it may not reflect the actual scenario or situation. Try to get as closer to the current year as much as you can. No? If not, at least 2019, 2018, 2020 will be best. Okay, so that's the second one. And then the third one, finally, we come to the most dreaded and feared disease, cancer. What is cancer? Here is where it is explained in layman's term again. You may want to add more if you're presenting to doctors. No? So for now, suffice to say that we are presenting to lay people, to common people. So we are using very layman term. But if you are presenting, if your audience are scientists or doctors, researchers, then you may need to add a little bit more on your material or on your scripts. But here is very simple. You can see all cancers are caused by DNA mutation of cancer-causing genes in healthy cells. So how does it happen? Again, you're kind of like bringing them into the free radicals, penetrating towards the nucleus and damaging the DNA, and turning on the bad genes, including cancer-causing genes. Then similarly, you come into this progression of the cancer or metastasis. Cancer doesn't occur overnight. So similar to cardiovascular issues, it can happen maybe 20 or even 30 years prior to getting cancer. So it's not something that happens just last month or even just last year. It's really a chronic situation. That's why nakita nyo na ngayon, are you now kind of like getting the feel of the seriousness of chronic inflammation? You know, as a speaker, you must bring that out. That all these damages in our cells are really dangerous. Okay, so it's never too early to start prevention now. Then I also gather this latest 2020 from the World Health Organization for both male and female. Pink is breast cancer. It's the top cancer for worldwide. Incidence of rates of cancer is actually breast cancer for global. And then the next one is prostate cancer. So here is where you're giving them a global perspective. You have the script in there as well. And I also, as I've mentioned, I also like to put a local statistics. This is what I gathered from the Global Cancer Observatory. Latest data from them, March 2021, for male and female for Philippines. Top 10 cancers diagnosed in the Philippines. Breast cancer is still the leading cancer for female, and lung cancer is the leading cancer for male as well. So here is where you can start to engage them. Do you personally know someone who has cancer? Type 1 if you do. So now you're getting them involved into these issues, these chronic diseases. You're not just educating It's not just a lecture, but you're kind of like inviting them. There's an emotional attachment from them. Do you notice how I touch on the emotions quite a lot when I talk about the issues? It's not just intellectual, but emotional connections as well. So how many of you know of anyone who have cancer, or in this case, yeah, diabetes or hypertension? So you kind of like always invite them to be involved into this emotionally into the issues as well. All right, so now those are the three. Then this is where you can kind of like recap. So let's recap. We are exposed to excessive amounts of free radicals every day. Our cells are damaged by oxidative stress, leading to chronic inflammation, and then blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you have the scripts in there as well too. So the key thing here is, as you can see from the chart, I hope you understand, free radicals leading to oxidative stress. Nakita niyo yung arrow, the red arrow, leading to chronic inflammation. Actually, nakita niyo yung mga orange. Orange is like parang, they are like bullet.
Fire.
Oh, parang ganong missiles or
Yeah.
fires that attacking the cells constantly. Constant yeah, situation. So free radicals developing to oxidative stress, leading to oxidative stress, developing into chronic inflammation, leading to chronic diseases. And what is our normal reaction is to give drugs, right? Treatments, treat all these chronic diseases. But here in Avita, we really want to educate more is on prevention. Nip the bud. Nakita nyo yung here, you see the key message on top, nip the problem at the bud. So where is the problem? Where's the root cause? It's all these free radicals. Don't wait until it becomes chronic. No? So madalas sa ospital, pag napunta tayo, they will just give us statin or drugs or whatever because it's already a serious case, it's a chronic situation already. That's why we are doing this education, because prevention is better, prevention is easier, and prevention is cheaper than cure. So you're driving this, nakita niyo yung arrow on the right going up there, go to prevention rather than long-term use of drugs or other harsh treatments. So that's really the key message for this. Makita nyo lang yan, it's so simple, but actually, it's a very powerful illustration if you are able to bring it out or if you're able to deliver it. Okay. Then now we are leading into, is it really possible? So now we're looking into solution. Is this a solution? Is this the only solution? Yun yung key message. Suppose a person, para kayo nagkikwento, like your storytelling. Suppose a person has a chronic disease already, such as diabetes. What would be the conventional solution? You can ask them, type. Ask them to type. What would be the conventional solution? Exercise, right? Normally, doctors would recommend exercise or lifestyle change, dietary control, di ba? Dr. Babes, normally yan ang mga ano natin, dietary control, lifestyle change. And then we'll prescribe some either insulin pill, or if it's serious, it could be an injection as well, insulin injection, and other treatments as well. So normally this will be the progression of the treatments. And yes, this has been the same solution for Nani Almeida for 7 years. Every day he had to inject 70 units of insulin. So this is the only solution for him, because that is what he knows best, until a friend introduced Cell101 to him. 7 months later, he is no longer dependent on insulin injections. His blood glucose is normal. Isn't this a better solution? So you're kind of like engaging now their mindset. Isn't this a better solution? But many people do not know that they have other choices or other alternatives. Now, just a precaution, ha? Does that mean Cell101 is a cure for diabetes? No. No, it's not a cure for diabetes. In some cases, we still need to probably take a combination of the pill plus Cell101,
And the
progressive,
diet.
yeah, and diet and lifestyle as well. So it could be complementary or an enhancement. Cell101 can be an enhancement on the existing treatment. No, so don't always cut your drugs or advise your friends to stop taking insulin or drugs. Always seek the advice of the doctor. Let the doctor be the one to decide on that. Okay. Remember, in Avita, when we present, we want to present professionally. We do not want to lead them unnecessarily into thinking, oh, that I don't need insulin, I don't need this, I don't need that drug, I can just take Cell101. No, we have to be responsible as a speaker and as a distributor to guide them.
Gina, question. Yes, yeah, you use the word alternative. Do we recommend using this word because some people might mistake that Cell101 is an alternative medicine?
I would like to, in some ways it can be an alternative, like in this case of Nani Almeida. Other words, if you're not comfortable with alternative, complementary or enhancement. Cell101 can be an enhancement to your current treatment, or Cell101 can be complementary to your current treatment. No? If alternative is something that's a little bit contentional to some people. Is that okay?
Okay, thank you. Because I remember Doc D advised me before not to position Cell101 as an alternative medicine.
Yeah. It could be complementary
Thank
or an
you.
enhancement. All right. So then I have another story here. I would like to use this. You have a script anyway. This one is a better solution. We're using a better because our company team is a better life. No, just kidding. A better solution, huh? So this is another case of diabetes from Mr. Ong. I think, Theingi, this is a Malaysian, right?
Yes.
Malaysian, 46 years old at the time. 2012. He's doing exercise as advised by doctor, dietary controls, 6.6 glucose fasting level. Maximum is 6, or the healthy range is 3.9 to 6. After 1 year of the same protocol, reduced a little bit, but still considered on a high level, until Mr. Ong, discovered Cell101. And you can see we're still not saying only Cell101. Cell101 together with still exercise and proper diet as well. Always emphasize that as well. And then was able to finally bring it down to the normal range, or within the reference range. So if you have prospects or customers, or even yourself, if you are taking all this data, it will be good to do something like this. Kung meron kayo, kung makakaipon kayo ng mga, some of you are doing annual checkups, or some of your customers are doing annual checkups. If you could do, if they are able to give you, you can hide naman the name if you want, Mr. A or Mr. D or Mr. X. But it's very powerful to be able to show some actual data or results as well. Another better solution, maybe I can ask, here is, maybe later on, Theingi, we can, the animation, we can kind of like.
I think we can invite Jonah to share, so we all hear firsthand.
Yeah, and then you write it down, huh? We take notes on the sharing of Attorney Jonna on, because for her, I see we need to look at the bottom one, right? The tumor marker, is it? Theingi?
Yes, the CEA actually is for the colon. That's the tumor marker. That's when they check whether the cancer cells are active or not.
Okay. What is the date? The date is there, right?
Yes, it's
The
there. October 9,
October 9,
2020.
2020. Okay, very good. If you have the dates, even better.
Yes.
Okay,
The
can you?
actual.
Hmm.
So during the pandemic, I could not go to my doctor, but my oncologist, and he was telling me just to monitor my blood chem, especially the CEA every quarter. So this is my CEA marker. At that time, it was 3 actually. After my operation, it was 3. And then I was only taking Celergen and Life Biotics as a maintenance. He didn't give me anything because plus the liposomal vitamin C. He didn't recommend to me anything anymore because when he was looking at the progress of my lab results, he said that what I'm taking is probably he thinks that it's doing me good. So he says you just go on with it.
Very
So
good.
he's kind of Dr. Dennis Sakdalan, very open-minded on this thing. So he never gave me anything anymore. I just to maintain this. And I think this is October 2020 and I had in January again 2021. And you see from 2.7 it's down to 2.5.
Very good.
And the only changes I did was like well, of course, may change the diet ko. I do exercise, I do the sunlight, now the human reset is added as a daily thing for me. So, yun. It's going down eh. So I think those are the only vitamins or supplements that I'm taking. I'm not taking anything. I'm not taking any drug.
Very good. I think this one we will do another one before we give it to you guys. It's with the permission from Attorney Jonah. It's a very good, again, statement or narrative to support our position of a better solution. No, that there is a better solution, but not many people know that they can have at least other choices as well. But you're not doing any radiation or chemo.
Oh, I was not even advised to take the oral chemotherapy. I was supposed to take oral chemotherapy, but because they had the test, the micro instability, instability test, the MSI, and they found out that my MSI was high. So that's the new, I think, technology. They have to see if you're supposed to take chemotherapy. And when the doctor saw that my MSI was high, he said, I don't need to take the oral chemotherapy, but just to be monitored. So,
And he
so
encouraged you to just continue Celogen.
yes, because he saw that it was the blood chem that the lab results that I was showing him seemed to be that it's working on me, on it's good. So he said, "You just go on with it." So I was nga joking them eh. Sabi ko nga, I go to my oncologist and he just listens to what I do and what I say, and then I pay him and then I go home.
That's why they become rich.
But I need him. I need him still.
No, I'm just kidding. Of course, it's a simple statement, but it comes with experience before they're able to say that. Yeah.
Yes.
Very good. So I hope you have anyone have any questions for attorney, because you have to be able to share her story.
Yeah.
Not always that you have her to share. You don't have
And,
the
and remember also, Gina, before this thing happened that they saw that I had colon cancer, I didn't even realize that I had one because I didn't experience any signs of the colon cancer. Like there was changes in your stool supposed to be. I didn't have pain. I didn't have anything at all. And even the doctors who did the procedure to me, which were my friends, they thought that it was something that, it was life-threatening actually. And they were surprised of the result that there was no metastasis. Medyo malaki. I have the photo of it, but it's so gross, so I can't show you. But I have. Yes.
So it's actually yeah, it's a testament to what we were saying earlier, right?
Yeah.
That all these chronic inflammations are happening in your body without you realizing or knowing it
Yeah.
until you get the diagnosis many years later.
And imagine my operation, started experiencing anemia or low blood January 2018. So that was when I started. And then I think that was October, I had total hysterectomy because they thought that that was the one causing me because they saw a mass in my uterus. So they had to remove everything. My total hysterectomy was recommended because they knew already that the instance of cancer in our family was very high. So since I was a widow already, my friend said, let's just take it out. So I allowed that to be taken out. So they were just surprised because if she opened me, I don't know with the doctors, but my friends already told me that how come they did see it in your colon if there was one when they opened you. So I said I won't bother anymore going back because that has been done. So after that was October, and after almost 7 months, I had already the colon cancer, stage 2 actually, and it was quite big. It's like chicken, and they had to remove some mass. I had to remove some muscle, part of my muscle in my side, sa stomach ko. So that's it, and I recuperated in both instances of the operation. I recuperated very fast. When I had my total hysterectomy, after 2 months, I went to Thailand with my friends already. We were traveling around. And in January, I went around. I was really having a good time. Kat knows this. I even performed dancing in LaSalle because we were parents. And at that time, there was an incident that I remember that parang I nearly parang slip. So I didn't know that uh, again, nagre-recur yung anemia ko. So I didn't know about that. So aside from anemia, walang signs that it was the colon that has a problem actually. Kasi walang pain eh. Walang pain. Except for the last portion that I had to go to Ilocos. I thought that it was my first long trip. So I thought all along na parang naano lang ako, natagtag lang. That's why I had a pain. That's when the pain started. Pero wala kasing changes in the ano eh, yung pagdumi wala eh. Nothing at all. So yun lang. I had the pain, so they said, pa-check mo. So that's when. And because my blood, yung ano ko ba, parang anemia ko mababa na masyado. The doctor admitted me because it was too low, and she was still surprised because I even parang, umakyat ka pa ng stairs, kaya mo, hindi ka hinihingal. Actually, ako rin na-amaze kasi hindi naman ako hinihingal, hindi ako nahihilo, but when you see my blood, masyado nang mababa. They thought that I had even thalassemia. Yeah. So, dami.
Very good. So I think it's a very good story to support again our message of prevention, because truly many of these chronic diseases we do not know until very late. But that you're raising your hand.
Yes, question for Attorney Jonah.
Yes,
Attorney, every year ka required to
But
do this.
talk a bit louder.
Sorry. Every year you're required to do this test?
Yes, from the time that I was I
Okay.
had finished my operation, dapat quarterly I have. And dapat I also have to undergo again yung colonoscopy and endoscopy, but because it's COVID, I don't like going to the hospitals right now because I might be exposed. So, yun. So, I've been careful. But so far, since my blood chem naman are good and we do teleconferencing with the doctor. He says naman, if it's emergency, if there's something lang na parang kakaiba, you go to the emergency room and I'll meet you there. Yun lang ang instructions niya sa akin. So far naman, you see the latest result is 2.3. So I'm
And
not alarmed at
are very
all.
happy, and we will continue to pray for you.
Thank you.
And maybe later on, if you have your results, if you don't mind, we can also update us so that we can.
Yes, of course.
Very good. So similar to the story of Nani Almeida, you know, we can say that Cell101 is actually, in this case, for Attorney Jonah, provided a better solution for her cancer. And then this one is from Dr. Babes, actually the sister-in-law of Dr. Babes. I like this one because it's also has a timeline.
Yeah.
Like before Cell101, it's quite self-explanatory and very clear, and also like what are the symptoms or what are the pains that the sister-in-law is actually experiencing before Cell101 and after Cell101. So this one is multiple myeloma. It's a very good enhancement or complement to chemotherapy. No? So in this case, in Attorney Jonah's case, she did not go for chemotherapy because it was not recommended by the doctor. But in this particular case, it was recommended. But together with Cell101, you see, my message is that together with Cell101, it helped Dr. Babe's sister-in-law to have lesser side effects of the chemotherapy, and better mobility as well, and able to go back to daily chores. Better.
Multiple myeloma is cancer of the blood, is it?
Blood.
Dr. Babes, do you want to... Any question on Dr. Babes about this story? Because you need to...
Yeah, how was this actually found? Did she feel, oh, just body weakness and all that? Or how was the diagnosis realized?
Because my sister-in-law had been taking iron supplement, and still her hemoglobin and red blood cells remain below normal.
Oh, okay.
So she was admitted for blood transfusion. And when she was confined for blood transfusion, it was then discovered that her creatinine was abnormally high, and that is the initial picture of cancer of plasma cells.
Okay. Understand. Thank you.
Dr. Babe's question, when did she start the Cell101? And how many doses did you give? And how many soft gels did you give? Did you give her during chemotherapy? When did you start the Cell101? And how many doses did you give?
Yeah, we started her on 2 capsules. So since then up to now, 2 capsules lang. Also, because we were waiting for one particular laboratory examination, and it would take 2 weeks before that result would come out. We were waiting for that. It is a prerequisite before starting the chemo. So we started her on Cell101 2 weeks before her chemo.
Okay. 2 weeks before. And even on chemo, she continued to take Cell101, right?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Babes.
You're welcome.
And I think just for additional information, but it's not included in here. In March, no, Dr. Babes, in March, got infected by COVID.
April.
April.
First week of April. Yeah, it was ironic because she went for her vaccination, her scheduled vaccination, and the center was filled with so many people. and that was a super spreader. From when the doctor traced where she got the COVID, it was from that vaccination.
Very sad,
So
right?
yeah.
And I'm sure she didn't stay there for a long time. So normally vaccination, unless mahaba pila. Pero sa Singapore, with less than 30 minutes, you are out of the center.
I think it took her longer. That's
Oh.
why she got infected.
Okay. Okay, so this one is also, I find it very good story to share, because we know of people who are going through chemotherapy or even radiotherapy or other forms of treatment for cancer. So the key message here is Cell101 is a very good complementary to the treatment that they are doing in terms of pain management. We see a lot of, wait, I want to go back to the, we see a lot of effect of,
I think you go back to minimize screen.
where?
You
Yeah,
stop.
this.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, so I'm sure there are a lot of stories of friends of yours. And again, question, must you use Dr. Babe's story? If you have other stories or your own story, by all means, use your own story, okay? So when we give you the slides, feel free to use a relevant testimonial that you think is suitable. But this is just to kind of like give you an impression of a better solution. I like the script here that we said for Nani Almeda, yung last sentence. Many people do not know that they have other choices or maybe other alternatives, or we are not saying alternative medicine, other alternatives, meaning other options to look into. As I saw in the chat group, Dr. D said, when you talk about alternative medicine, it's not evidence-based. I'm not saying alternative medicine. That means it's just other alternatives to the current treatment that they are doing. Okay. So then you go into this. We talk about, so what is Cell101? At this point, we're talking about solutions, right? To chronic inflammation brought about by free radicals. We haven't talked about Cell101. Pero napansin nyo na ba, sold out na kayo on Cell101? Hearing all those testimonies without even explaining what Cell101 is. I find this, itong flow very powerful, because you don't position Cell101 as made in this, made in that, this is this in that, and this is what it can do. No, parang before you even talk about Cell101, they already know the importance of or the effect of Cell101 as a better solution for them, or complementary solution for their needs. So here is where you then start to talk about, since every disease, so again, ang key message nyo dyan is what does Cell101 do? Then you have at the bottom there is their suggested script, where you talk about, since every disease begins from the cell, it makes sense to take care of the cells. Would you agree with me on that? So you can engage them like that if you want to have a healthy body. So eto naman, medyo what do you call this? Self-explanatory. The script as well as the illustration or the slide that you have. And then this is where prevention begins from the cell. These are the 3-step actions as indicated, again, self-explanatory. And here is where you go into deeper for these 3 items. Pag sinabi mong remove free radicals, how does it remove free radicals? Diba? How does Cell101 do that? How does it remove free radicals? Because Cell101 has wide range of antioxidants. This is where your script now is. There are many types of free radicals. Cell101 has a wide range of antioxidants to remove free radicals. So you're kind of like explaining the ingredients, in particular, these 4 ingredients highlighted: bio-DNA cellular marine complex, which is a strong or super antioxidant. Maybe I will add here unique to Cell101.
Yep.
Because lutein, grape skin extract, coenzyme Q10, you can still buy it maybe off the shelf as it is. but you cannot buy bio-DNA cellular marine complex.
And in fact, it has more antioxidant than the rest.
Yeah.
So it's also called the super antioxidants.
Maybe Theingi, we can add
Yeah.
unique to Cell101. We
Mm.
will add it on the script. It's unique to Cell101.
Yep.
Okay, so the key message here is we have a lot of antioxidants, super antioxidants in Cell101. That's why it's able to counter the effects of free radicals or remove free radicals. Then we go back to this analogy. Remember yung mga bombardment of the free radicals? So the stars, yung stars, para siyang mga antioxidants. They're now
A
embracing
shield.
shield. Parang shield ni, sino ba may shield? Si Captain America.
Yeah.
Your cells are having a Captain America shields to protect from the bombardment of all these free radicals. So the shield is like your antioxidants. Yan. If you want to have a detailed explanation, I see from Dr. Techi, Dr. D, and other doctors, sometimes they have additional slides how free radicals work. Yung unstable atom, remember? Donating a stable atom to...
So the antioxidant has lots of atoms.
Yeah,
So
so
they donate to the
correct.
free radicals.
Yeah, to stabilize the free radicals. So
Like a naughty child, you go and discipline them. Okay, I give you sweets, and then they're okay now.
So you can by all means add if you need to, especially like what I said earlier, kung ang pagprepresenta ninyo, if you're presenting to scientists, doctors, and technical people, you may need to substantiate a little bit what antioxidants is. Pero for a layman term, I feel it's the simpler explanation or analogy is better for them to understand. But by all means, add if you need to. And then the second action, how do we replenish high quality raw materials for the repair? It's very important for the repair mechanisms of cells that they have the right ingredients. The first three ingredients, andyan naman yung script, are high quality nutrients that the cells need to repair and make new cells. Then you can kind of like either mention in detail some of the rest, or it's good for you as additional information. Now, these high quality raw materials, maybe Theingi, do you want to tell them on this analogy?
Yes, do you all know this story?
Why you like this analogy?
The Three Little Pigs. How many of you have never heard of this story before? Three Little Pigs. Really, Betsy? What happened to your childhood? Maybe the Americans don't listen to this. Okay, in the story of Three Little Pigs, okay, they were given different materials to build their house, right? So who remembers? The first one is the house made of straws. Yes, straws. Then second one was the material that was given was sticks or wood. Branches, sticks. And then the third one is bricks. Yeah, so they went ahead to build that, and then came the big bad wolf that came to blow their houses. Yeah, first two was all blown away, and the little pigs ran to the third pig to stay together in that brick house, and they were all safe. Yeah, in the end, as the story goes, the big bad wolf was then killed because he tried to jump in from the chimney or something like that. Yeah, so here, the big bad wolf is our free radicals who are trying to damage all our good cells and our immune system, causing a lot of inflammation. But if you have built your cells membrane and everything very well, strong with a very good material, in the story will be the brick. But in here, the bricks will be our good quality raw materials. Yeah, all the antioxidant, all the peptides that comes with Cell101. Yeah, this will be the raw material, the good quality raw material that is building our cells. Thus, when the big bad wolf, the free radicals come and attack us, it won't blow us or it won't cause any damage. So that's the same analogy. But when you say it this way, your prospects or your audience can relate to it. So what kind of material are you using to build your house? The same. What are the raw materials are you feeding your cells? Pwede na?
Pwede na. Very good. So now Dr. Angie remembered the story of the three, three little pigs.
Three little pigs are not lechon, yeah?
Chini said, Betsy only know Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig, oh my goodness.
Okay, again, it's up to you. We are just supplying you materials. You can choose not to say this analogy if you think it's too simple, but if you're talking to customize according to your prospects' needs as well, okay? And then the third one is regulating genetic activity. I added a kind of like an abstract of how many of you know about, have read this? Nabasa nyo na ba to? Itong research findings na to? How many of you know about this or read this?
In fact, there are a few. One is on liver cancer cells. The other is on pancreatic, and then also on skin.
So it's important. Remember earlier, sabi ko as speakers, we do a little bit of research. This is the actual report or study. Nakita nyo ba sa screen? Can you see in the screen?
Yep.
Effect of Cell101 marine derivative, blah, blah, blah. And then you can see the abstract in there. I know it's quite a mouthful or quite technical. So don't worry. That's why we try to, what they call that? We try to present it in a simple way. When you do your Cell101 talk, you don't need to go very detailed. In this, the suggested script is actually a 2-liner if you want. In this scientific study, Cell101 has shown to have anti-cancer properties on human liver cancer cells. Then you can emphasize on the human cells and not other species, no? Or other animal cells or what, no? Then what are the results? Important is not for you to talk so much about the process of the study that they did, how they did the study, the in vitro and all. No, you don't need to explain how
If you have doctors or medical professional who wants to read that, you can send to them separately.
Correct.
Yeah.
You can tell them, I can send to you separately the detailed report. You being a scientist or doctor, you can better read it or appreciate it. But suffice to say, this scientific research study has actually this promising results that shows that Cell101's ability to regulate genetic activity. The first one on the left is the ability for Cell101, because of this scientific research, to increase cell apoptosis. Yun lang, you only need to say that. Increase cell apoptosis by as much as 30%. What is cell apoptosis? That means it's the natural death of the cancer cells. Parang suicide. No, apoptosis is like our cancer cells committing suicide. So the more cancer cells committing suicide, the better. So parang ganon, you can just there are some scripts that you can use at the bottom. And then the one on the first on the left is increasing the apoptosis of the cancer cells by as much as 30%. The second one on the left is the reduction of or decreasing the activity, yung bang alertness or yung activity of the oncogene, CMYC oncogene, by as much as 40% reduction. So reducing the activity, that means you kind of like limit the proliferation as well, in a layman term. And why is it very promising? Why is this particular CMYC oncogene is very promising result? Because it's also known to be present in other forms of cancer, not just liver cancer, but also in lung, colorectal, breast, and other cancers that you mentioned in here. So actually, we see a lot of potential in terms of the ability. Emphasize is a lot of potential for Cell101 to help in this particular cancer. So then you can tell them, for those of you who are keen to know more or to read more regarding these scientific studies, let me know and I can send it to you separately. Emphasize it does in the script. You will see it does not mean that when you take Cell101 you will not get cancer, or Cell101 is a cure for cancer. No. Again, educate them well and emphasize this. It's not a cure for cancer, and it doesn't mean you take Cell101 you can fend off cancer. It may, but it may not as well. Okay? There's no guarantee on that, but the study reports the ability to be able to reduce the activity, as mentioned earlier, and increase the apoptosis of the cancer cells. Okay, so that ends your technical explanation on Cell101 in terms of its function. If now some of you may say, hey Gina, you didn't even put where is it made, what are the, what they call that,
Certifications.
worldwide accreditations. By all means you can add it, but I want to limit kasi to just 40 slides, no more than 40 slides, or a shorter version, 30 minutes if possible. But if you want to add more, you can do so.
I'd like to add on to this aspect. In many of our talks, some of you who have been listening are mainly our BOP, yeah, or just pure Cell101 talk. Whereas Cell101, it's really talking about our cell activity, why it deteriorates, and then what can we do, which is a possible solution to prevent inflammation, free radicals damage. Whereas when we talk a lot about the certifications, where it is made, you know, comparing to the clinics, you fly there to do that, it's more of it's a marketing. It's a marketing of why Cell101 is good. Whereas here, we are going more towards a bit more scientific of how our body works and how Cell101 combining together into our diet and our lifestyle, how it will help us from getting all these diseases. So it's a little different focus. Can we add this? Yes, like what Gina said, we can add this. But just want to let you understand the focus point of Cell101. Yeah.
And then after that, you can either add some of the testimonials, not so much, I think at most 3. Remember, I'm focusing, these particular slides are focusing on diabetes, cardiovascular, and cancer. But depending on your audience as well, you can put whatever is suitable to the C profile of your audience as well.
Yeah.
There are
sometimes before our talk, we do receive C profile of some of the key prospects that are attending, and they have particular health concerns. Then if it is given ahead, we can add in a particular testimony. Yeah, that's why we always encourage everyone to let us know your prospects C profile in advance.
Yeah. So again, this one is a very good story of able to save a foot from amputation, another complication of diabetes, and how Mr. Tan from Indonesia is able to be helped by that. Dr. D's mom as well. This one is more for heart. So diabetes, heart. I find Betsy's testimonial for your 3 highs also very good. You can get the testimonial of Betsy. You can use that as well if you need to, or some of your other testimonials from your network as well. This has been a story for cancer for many years now, but now I'm happy in Philippines we are also having a lot of testimonials as well. And then kind of like at the end, you can have your own testimonial, your own story. It could be your mom, your dad, your spouse, your friend. And this is where it gets personal. And this is why I am sharing this to you. Because I remember I introduced Cell101, or I gave Cell101 to my spouse or my husband or my child or my friend. And then you can put your picture or your own testimonial, and then start to talk about your own experience about Cell101 or your own personal experience on Cell101. And then you go into the link of that's why how the suggested script is, how does this wonderful product comes about? Thanks to the visionary lady, Miss Lee Shangyin, CEO and founder of Avita. Early on, she saw the growing need for cell therapy and its opportunity to help many people have a better life. After doing R&D for 2 years, Avita launched Cell101 in 2009 globally. And since then, it has improved many, many lives, thousands and hundreds and thousands of lives in terms of health and in wealth. So now you're kind of like, nakita nyo yung link? Did you see this, the flow of Cell101, and now thanking Avita, Miss Lee, introducing the CEO. And then what is Avita? You also have a little bit of information in there as well. Okay, that we are a preventive wellness anti-aging solutions. Always talk about the company, even though you are doing a product talk. Don't shy away from sharing to them the company.
Yeah, you don't need to mention MLM or things like that.
Yeah.
But don't forget to mention about the company, which is the source. Yeah, the source of our product.
It's a Singapore company, so Asia-wide opportunity. It's established since 2007. So even one slide can make an impact on them, and we are present in many countries. And then you can end it with a call for action slide. You can change it again to a slide that you deem best. This one is a call for action to live life to the fullest with good health starting right now. So you're kind of like planting to them to begin now. And then you can add the promos. Could be the final slide, could be a promo. If you have an MC, let the MC do the announcement of the promos. But if it's just a small group and you're presenting everything, no MC, then always show them a promo slide at the bottom.
Yeah, even though if you're saying it verbally, it's always good to have a slide, because most people, especially over Zoom, their eyes are stuck on the screen. They may not hear what you say, but visual wise, they will be able to catch it. Yeah.
Okay, so that's so easy, right, Kat? Dr. Gail,
Dr. Gill, no problem, Dr. Gill.
I just need to practice and practice.
Okay, now, Theingi, you tell them how then do we do the exam?
Just because you guys didn't on video, don't think you didn't hear anything.
So basically, after this, the coaching continues together with your upline PD and DP. You can do practice with them. After we give you the slides, you can kind of like customize it a little bit on your own, even the scripts, some of the scripts as well. What we gave you is just like what I said, a sample, a structure, and some scripts para you know where to begin. It's easier for you now to do a Cell 101 talk. Practice with your uplines, and then yeah, myself and Theingi, you have to invite us together with Dr. D and Jeannie.
I think for Team Jeannie,
Yeah.
we can have each one of you to present on every Monday as part of our team meeting. So we'll start off with one of you going through the presentation, okay, and then yeah, because as the rest listen in, they are also learning it repeatedly. Yeah.
And we will schedule, maybe D, you may want to take note on for the rest of the team on when we want for them to conduct.
It'd be good to do as a team.
And then how about the slides, DP Theingi? Can they just anyhow pass the slides to the prospects?
No, because you must understand the testimonies given are rather private. It is given to us with the trust that we will say it properly, and we will not just pepper them around in social media and things like that. So we would like to keep all these slides within to your own first. Don't give it to your prospects or your downlines yet until they have been trained. Okay, as you know, some of these knowledge, I don't want it to be used by so-called competitors. Okay, because these are research and materials that has taken us some time to collate and studies and do research. So we do not want it to be misused by other products or other companies. Yeah, but with regards to not passing to your downlines, it's because they may not know how to present. So if once they are well trained to present it, by all means, share with them. I do have some slides that I use sometimes during my BOP, but when I share out, I took out some of the testimonies because these are private. They allow me to use, but that doesn't mean they allow other people to use. Yeah, I think likewise for some of the patient's testimony, it's actually the professional integrity of doctor and patient to have that privacy. Yeah.
Yeah, and we also sometimes you will come across prospects. They're not even signing, and then they will give you the impression that, oh yeah, this is a good product. I can share it. Can you give me the slides? Don't, especially
Yeah.
those who have.
And they go all out and do on their own. Even they face some rejection, they won't come back to you.
Yeah. I've come across prospects like that. They will tell you, wow, very good. I can share this to my that group. Can you give me the slides? No, especially if they are not committed, trained yet. So Team Dr. D said you will present in on Wednesday. Maybe one Wednesday, one person or two. Let's see. We can. Dr. D will prepare a schedule for all of you. Oh, in the case of Kat is volunteering on May 10 already.
Yeah. Yes. The earlier you pass, the better.
And then we can have.
I'm volunteering Dead Sea.
Dr. Babes, how are you, Dr. Babes? Can you do? How was it so far? What's your feedback? Will this be helpful for you?
Yeah, very helpful with those scripts.
Yeah. Di ba po, mas madali?
And don't feel that you've got to do it in a big group. It can be just for 2 person.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be very intimate. Just share as you share, chit chat a bit, add on a little bit, very casual. Yeah. So but then you can also make it very formal to maybe 10, 15 people. It can also be that way. And then when you can do physical, you can still use these set of slides.
Yeah. It's
That
good.
was- yeah.
It's good to practice now while Zoom, because Zoom you can cheat. You can have
You can have the script. Yeah.
Once you go on
Right.
stage, once you're already on live stage, for those of you who have experience presenting in the olden days, BOP on live stage, you're not supposed to hold on a script. You're supposed to like know what to say for every slide. So
And even we have seen some speakers, they are referring to their phone notes, and we were like, oh, no. But now with Zoom, you can cheat.
yeah, you can even put the notes in your computer and kind of like refer to them. So yeah, so any other feedback? So allow me and Theingi to just kind of like tidy up a little bit. By today, tomorrow, latest by Monday or tomorrow, we can send it to you guys so you can start to practice. Start to practice it, and then when you present it, you must wear formal as well, huh? At least BOP style attire with yeah.
Yeah. Now, but that looks like she didn't wear anything on top.
But that is very sexy today.
But that should switch with Kat's background.
It's so hot. It's like 37 degrees here.
Oh.
Any other feedback, Chini? Any feedback? How are you?
So,
So I feel, I know some of you are very advanced in terms of technical gadgets, IT. Start with this, what you have first. Okay, later on you can improve on it, but start practicing with what we have we will be giving you to start off. Yeah, don't spend a lot of time finding even more data or things like that. Start with this first. This is good enough. Yeah.
We did our best. Myself and Theingi did our best to kind of like do the research for you so that you save time. And all you need to do is to present them using some of the scripts.
Yeah, and immediately I think but that has given us the link to the article. I've also sent out in terms of PDF, so you can read about it. So you don't need to complete everything. You don't need to go and read all the medical journal in order to present. We have make it shortcut for you.
Yeah.
Huh?
So Chini, you will be the first one to present.
What?
You're the first one to present.
Where?
And
Sure.
Kat will be the first next
Sure.
Monday. Yeah? with Betsy. The speed that Betsy speaks, she will finish in less than half an hour.
I think in the Philippines now is the time to
Pieces.
really, now is the time for us to really massively, all of us must be able to learn to talk Cell 101, at least in simple ways, in simple slides, in a few simple slides, because many people need the product. They need to, some really don't know that they have other ways, especially those with COVID or other issues, other illnesses as well.
Yeah, and like Attorney Jonah and Betsy have this regular daily activity. So you can take turns between Human Reset and Cell 101.
Yeah, they also do Wellness Wednesdays on Facebook, right?
Mm.
Where you
Live this Wednesday with Wendy and Dr. Angie.
Oh, okay.
very good.
What will be the topic?
The topic is fighting COVID.
Okay.
You can incorporate Cell 101 there. You just gave me a great idea.
Very good. All righty, if no further questions, let's open our video and let's have a group photo shot.
Let's look like cells.
How you look like so?
No, I'll have that shoe.
Hi, Tita Alice.
Hi, Tita.
Alice.
Na-miss ko na ang Davao. I really miss
Wow.
Davao.
Nagpagupit ka na ba, Tita?
I like the blur background. I don't have that.
Yeah, me too. I
So,
also have
Betsy, alam mo, I couldn't do that.
Me
Pero
too.
Updated ako.
I think it's the secret that Betsy is keeping from us.
No. Also, Badet and Attorney
How do you
June.
Told
do that?
me. And you have to
And
you have to
20
download
on.
the new Zoom app.
Yes.
Because
Ah.
if you haven't downloaded the new Zoom app, it won't appear in your options.
Okay.
My option has blur.
So
Yeah,
you
that
click
one.
blur.
Blur. It. Blur.
Take off your green screen.
Where is that blur thing?
It says blur, but then it goes to the green screen. Because my background is green.
Yeah, lah. That is
Yes.
blur. It's blur.
Oh, yeah.
It's blur.
Okay, where is it?
You cannot see it.
Okay.
May cannot see it because it's blurred.
Gina, teach me.
You just choose blur.
Where?
See it.
There, oh. Virtual background.
Virtual
hold on.
background.
Choose virtual background. Then you see beside none, after none is blur.
Oh,
Here,
I don't have.
And
Let
then
me share
So you have to update your app.
This is none. This is
video,
none.
right? Video.
you haven't
to the-
updated your version.
Okay, I will go and
A
download.
photo? Who's taking photo?
Oh, wait.
Wait.
Let me put that.
Okay,
Please do not share screen there.
I'm Switzerland.
Hi, Dr. D. Dr. D is very busy. D, you have any inputs? Last minute input?
Dr. Angie, can you on video?
Yes. Me and
We have Pauline here with us also.
Oh,
Like this letter C for Celogen, right? Who's taking? Because
My hands are tight. Okay, I'll take.
Cell 101.
One done. One more, wacky.
Oh, where's the other
I
one?
did
No.
one.
Wait.
Ready? Are you taking, partner?
Yeah,
Or
I'm taking.
Let me take para you naman have a wacky. We alternate. 1, 2. Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Have
Thank
to
you.
go.
See you.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
thank you.
Bye.
Stay safe and take care.
thank you, trainers.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very much.
Thank you, DP
Very
Gina.
much.
Thank you, DP Theingi. Thank you, DP Gina.
Welcome.
Thank you. Chini, nice to see you.
Yeah, Chini.
Chini, this is C for Chini. Chini.
Chin chin.
Chin,
Chin.
chin, chin. Chubby cheeks.
Hey, someone is driving.
Chubby cheeks.
Yes, I'm
Bye.
driving.
Bye, Shirley.
Thank you. I listen from beginning to end.
Bye.
So good. Thank you.
Bye, Wendy.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy weekend.
Bye,
Yes.
everyone.
All right.
Bye. Thank you. Mag-toilet lang ako. I need to go quickly toilet, ha?
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Miss you guys. Miss you.
How are you?
I'm fine. I'm now back.
Good.
Avita.
Welcome back.
I will now go back and I need to earn.
Good.
Okay, I'll see you soon.
Okay, see ya. Keep in
Bye.
touch. Bye.
Oh, wait lang. Wait, okay.